What's the title?
A New Equilibrium.
Ooh.
Hola, mis amigos. Mi llamo es host Eric, and I am the host of Talkiendo de Famous de People de Place, also known as the Mexican Talking with Famous People. I'm here to say hello and welcome. I'm also here to say huzzah! A new day has dawned. We have been subject to a series of large storms weather-wise here in Los Angeles, persisting the entire duration of Rachel's mental storm, which I thought was appropriate. And then to this afternoon, I think things really cleared for us. Hello, UP Gardening Adventure. Hello, Sean. Of course, the weather cleared, and it's one of the more gorgeous evenings I've ever seen around Los Angeles. And things are at peace. You know, Rachel and I are good. She's got her new prescription refilled. She's got a month worth of it now, and we can anticipate, I think, some smooth sailing, some healing time as it is. Hi, Nick. How's it going? Long time no see. So, I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling very at peace today, this afternoon, this evening. And, of course, you know, in the aftermath of everything, or during the process of everything, we were obviously not making sexual intercourse with each other. So it was a great satisfaction to make sexual intercourse at her today, and to ejaculate accordingly. It was just like so eminently satisfying. I barely knew what to do with myself. Regardless, am I buffering? Is that why I'm losing people, or what? Usually when I abruptly lose everybody, it's because I'm buffering. I've discovered that NI, Rachel's dominant function, it operates across time more than a lot of other functions do. She's in her native state of being very intuitive across time, aware of timing and aware of realities larger than the present moment, until finally it erupts into the equivalent of an SI dome who's overwhelmed by NI, all negative. Hi, Mattias Sanchez. Thanks, Nick Sharon. I love telling my ejaculation stories. I must say that that's one of the things that I was reminded of today, and the importance of. As an intuitive, I'm not necessarily focused on this a lot, but it's very important in a successful relationship, if you're going to have a successful relationship, to really just be like, fuck yeah, when it comes to humping them. And I've never really had that before. Maybe I sort of had it in my very first relationship back when I was a teenager. But I have it in this one, and it's more important than I would ever have intellectually thought to be the case. Reality proves itself more sensorily oriented than I would have thought. Of course, she's so just juicy, it's ridiculous. So it's hard not to just be all no. I have no idea why this current splay of subpopulations, or whatever you want to call it, is the way it is. I don't know why it is the case that intuitives like ENTPs and INFJs are unusually rare. I would say that it might make sense in some way because of the need for them. Does she respect my weirdly profound humor? I would like to think she does. It's one of the advantages to dating someone from YouTube is that she had quite a bit of time to get to know me impersonally, so to speak, before she made any decisions about whether she wanted to go out with me or something like that. And additionally, I had plenty of opportunity to see that which kind of my shit she liked and respected beforehand before there was anything between us, because she'd leave comments on stuff. I just knew her as somebody who commented. I didn't know who she was, beyond that, just some commenter who I liked because she commented on and liked my music. Because of that, she stood out in my mind because of that, because that always has meant a lot to me. I thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. I would love to do stand-up comedy at some point. I think I could be very effective at it if I were in the right mood. I'd pretty much have to get up there and have a couple of ideas and just sort of freestyle. I don't think I could lock myself down to a memorized bit, although I could have some concepts going in, Yeah, time for a bong rip.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Cool. Well, thanks, Nick. That makes me feel good. I always have felt a lot of FE satisfaction at making people laugh.
You look so good on screen.
Thanks, baby. You look so good in person. So this stuff here is called the Elite $100 OG. I think I might be surprised. I'm not sure if it's going to be pleasantly or unpleasantly, though. I find comedy kind of scary. But yeah, if I were in the right mood, it's called $100 OG. That's the name of the strain. It actually costs $10 a gram. So it's I got 6 grams for $60, which is a special they had today. Normally it's more than $10 a gram. It's like $12 a gram. That was a good bong rip. So, probably not. Probably I can't. I'm not interested in getting any shrooms, frankly. I don't know. My enthusiasm for drug consumption has gone down a little bit. Anyway, as I get older, my constitution weakens a little bit. As Rachel pointed out the other day, I don't remember when it was, but ENTPs have crazy bodies that can take all kinds of abuse and keep on taking no problem. Like here I am, 48 years old, almost 49, and I'm still in good shape. Rachel and I went jogging the other day. She's 35, and I did fine. It's not, I'm not in the best shape of my life, but I'm in pretty good shape. I've gone jogging a few times lately, and I like to go jogging because it's one of the things that can actually get my cardiovascular going. If I'm riding my bike, my legs tend to get tired before my lungs do. When did you start going gray? I don't even remember. I don't think I really noted it. I'm not especially noting of physicalities. I had lived with this. There's in the bathroom in Laverne. There's this one painting of a cat. Is that a new painting? She's like, no, it's been there the whole time you've been here. I'm like, well, I've never seen it before. She says, well, it's been right there on the wall, right where you see it's always been right there the whole time. Huh. That's what it means to not really look around your area very much. I think that determinism is basically the equivalent of saying determinism in some things, therefore determinism in all things. That's all it is. It's like, things that are causally determined, we define it as that which would not have occurred but for the antecedent. In other words, if in the absence of the antecedent, the consequent doesn't happen. So if I kick you and your shin hurts, people think you're younger than you look. People think Rachel's younger than and people think she looks younger than she is.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the cause is outside of human understanding, that's woo-woo point. Causal system is, and it's reducible to a set of sort of ordinal steps of causality. It's true that the frame we put on that is sort of arbitrarily placed. Yeah, Rachel could pass for her 20s. I know.
What?
Yeah, it's great. It's like Angatir says Rachel could pass for her 20s.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice. I appreciate it.
I'm really sure that meth ages people especially quickly, although it may. I've noted that how young I look has a lot to do with how rested I am. If I'm very unrested, I look very old. And if I'm very rested, I look very much younger. In other words, my skin's a lot tighter. So the thing is, eventually, and then you're sort of back to where you were. Where would you set the limits of human free will? I mean, my position is this, that most people largely don't exercise their free will. It's everybody, Nick. It's not my internet. It's the fact that YouTube's overloaded right now with quarantine people. So my position is most people don't engage their free will very much because they are busy with, I guess you'd say, their reflexive ways. I think it takes a certain amount of metacognition to really liberate one's will, or something equivalent, to embrace those modalities that are not reflexive and to give yourself another option instead of the reflexive response. I think that I'm more free now than I used to be because I'm more reflective and less reflexive. I'm less likely to cling to my automatics than I used to be. And you can't change your type. You can't change your type any more than you can change other fundamental aspects of your nature. Things like your height and your sex. You can try it. You can change the physical aspect of it, but you are what you are. In some sense, every person is special, meaning is a species unto themselves. And therefore, synergistically distinct from that which is not that, Now, it certainly is plausible that you got your type wrong for quite a while. And then you realize what it is. That's certainly plausible. But it's not possible that you used to be Mia and now you're Mia. What's the difference between metacognition and a practice like meditation? Metacognition is attending to how you attend and noting instances of your reflex and making meaning therefrom. Nick, I thought at first he was an ENFP for a long time, but I'm confident now he's an ENFJ. But I haven't typed him formally and since it's in the way that I type people now, which is superior to the way that I used to. Hi, Cloud. We pitiful mortals welcome you. As far as I know, they're open. I'm not sure if anybody's in there at the moment, but they're on my plate. I'm going to decide what exactly, if anything, I'm going to do to make the raw rooms happen again. I may, but I'd have to be admin. I'd have to be there a fair amount, I think. So, it's. Well, Nick, that's because we had the spike monkeys basically destroy things. I would say I'm less overtly confident now, but probably more actually confident. What's emailed Athos going for? If you say I'm more nuanced than I used to be across the board. Right. Okay, Nick. I definitely want to spend some attention on the raw stuff, but I'm not right now, right at this moment. I'm not attending to it, but I will. It's been preserved, so to speak, and I'll figure out. I think my current understanding is pretty safe. It's like it's hard to point to any kind of a weak spot in it. But my previous understanding is missing a couple components, so it may have been, yeah. What type did you come up with for CSJ, Dr. Anger? I think he's probably an ESTJ. That's my guess, but it could be an. I'm happy to be back here at the moment and in this place where. Oh, that's done, Nick. Things have been reset since then. There's nothing like that going on anymore. Nobody has any authority in there.
What's that thing that people say that's like a funny thing when the fly is down?
XYZ. Examine my zipper, but don't knock over the bong in the process.
You did a very good job.
You think Joe Rogan's an ENTJ?
I think he's an ESTP.
There's big drama about the rooms, which you can watch a live stream I did on it. But I've not really studied the guy or anything. But just my gut impression of him is he's a censor and he's probably an SE dom. He's got good third slot FE. There was this one episode where Beastman was kicked out of Snake Mountain. Remember that? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember that. I wish I did. It sounds pretty important. Sounds like I'm forgetting a seminal moment in the history of He-Man. Here you go, seminal moment.
Thank you, sir.
You're SIing today. Oh. Cool. Cool. I was saying, snail race, snail race. And I said, chill out, you're embarrassing me. Remember? Remember that one time that happened? Email Anthrax? About things. Cultivates some curiosity in me. I think that's why I enjoy watching him. That's FE, you know, it's like vicarious interestedness. It's something that I sometimes take advantage of too. Like being visibly interested in things makes what you're doing more appealing to other people because they find sort of that resonance with the FE on the FE level. Curing my hangover with more alcohol, Angantyr? Yes.
Yeah.
It was made by Deke. Well, the thing is, but you know, it's like I was never really very naturally good at it. Same with Joe Rogan and comedy. It is very an innie thing. He's struck by it. He likes it, but he's not good at it. And that's okay. It's like, I mean, he's not, I don't even know, actually, to be honest, I haven't seen any of his stand-up comedy routines. I shouldn't prejudge them like that. I just don't find him funny in general. Like, I find him likable, but not.
But don't laugh at him.
I mean, I haven't seen any of his comedy routines, but.
True, I haven't either.
Yeah, I just don't, it's like somebody like Dave Chappelle, I find just his nature to lend itself to funniness.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't find that in Joe Rogan. But, you know. Teachers who love their subject are always the best teachers. Although there's a stereotype of the professor who likes their topic but is terrible at teaching, so clearly interest isn't the only thing necessary. The thing to remember is that as a teacher, I have a different metric than most teachers, which is I'm a coach, and it's easy to know whether you've got a good coach or not in a way that you can't know whether you've got a good teacher or not. Good coaches win. And so that drives me to always be purposeful in my instruction. So if I'm trying to teach somebody how to win a debate round, I need to teach you certain things, and I could teach you other things, but I need everything to be purposeful. So it's all through that frame of certain conditional context. Well, if they're going to run this, then you run this. If you run this and they say this, then you say that, or they say this, and like all that shit, right? So
information that is not obvious to others.
I'm not sure whether it's in response to.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's in response to either, actually.
Let's see. Is that in response to the teaching question, Tom Jickelson? Thinking about what I wanted the name of Autonomy Debate School to be, where I was considering Cobra Kai debate, because that was basically, and by and large we did. You know, I've been a very successful coach. So part of the reason for that is because I have demonstrative TE, I've got tool function TI, and I'm a dominant NE-DOM, which means I'm perfectly suited for debate. And I'm perfectly suited for coaching debate because and first thought FE too. I engage the kids on the FE. I engage the processes on TE. Everything's TI sound, and it's any creative. So that makes me, a pretty damn effective debate coach, just by virtue of being an HP. And I'm a pretty practiced one too. It's not like I came out of nowhere to start coaching debate. I debated in high school. I debated policy and about it, and I'm a beast. How do I know I'm an ENTP? Being an ENTP is actually a little easier to demonstrate than some other types. So I can demonstrate extroverted intuition real time. That's pretty impressive, I guess, to anybody who's not an extroverted intuitor. It's a pretty substantial display of extroverted intuition. All right, demonstrate in me. Rachel, could you? I'll grab it. All right, Ashu Godar. Ashu Godar says demonstrate Annie. He wants to menstruate with me today. It's a low carb that Ashu Godar is driving in here today. While concurrently coming up with chords, it's not something you can do unless you got experted intuition. But they just fail a lot. So in other words, making up random shit on the fly that rhymes and fits together and stuff like a song, that's extroverted intuition. Pretty much framed by extroverted feeling. Introverted thinking comes in there just to make sure it's not. Well, I guess that's more of an extroverted intuition thing. I'm not repeating myself too much. Something I've done before recently. But so that would be extroverted intuition. But I could demonstrate in a lot of other ways as well. So I can talk in metered verse without, like for example, to talk in metered verse would be like, I want to show that I can surely talk. In metered verse, though, talk I must a lot. In words that follow rhythmic patterns and also where the syllables will land according to the rules of this verse, which can be difficult. Rachel, thank you. That's extroverted intuition as well. It's just a general kind of being able to flow with the sound and stuff of words. It's word generation. You could also look at it as action on the external metaphysical field. What's action on the external metaphysical field? It's generating new meanings and putting them out there for people to consume. Well, just gotta look at my YouTube channel. It's not just shit tons of live streams that I do, although that's what I've been doing lately. If you look up some of my older videos, I got almost all uploads. So, well, I mean, the thing is, they could prepare the song in advance, sure, but there's no way they could prepare to improvise like that. It's just not within their capacity to do it. It requires too much wordiness, It's like ENTPs are very wordy people. I am not unmoved by your arguments there. I would say you've got some points there that are worth making and make a good argument in favor of ISFP. We'll go her. Movie. Okay, well, okay, so you're an NE-DOM. How do you know you're an ENTP and not an ENFP? Well, in that regard, we could always test my TI because for ENFPs, they're TI polar, and so they wouldn't be able to answer the kind of logic questions I can answer. They wouldn't be able to create logic questions like I can. They create other kinds of things. And you might say, well, it's just because you're practiced at doing logic. No, I'm practiced at doing logic because it's so native to me. And it was even when I was a little kid. Hard to specify because FI is confusing. Your TE-DOM father always pressed the importance of making a good impression, but that always seemed manipulative to you. You know, it's interesting. My dad is very much going FE in dealing with this long-term care insurance thing that we were dealing with. And, I'm suggesting he go TI, but the fact is he's TI ignoring, which means when he goes TI, I go SE. I'm much more likely to take the other form of action than I am to rely on the other form of knowledge ultimately for my own purposes. I use it in making media, but not so much in my own life, although I'm beginning to. Rachel's sort of rubbing off on me in that regard. I'm with. So when you combine the N, you would know I'm an ENTP, Abu Gohar. I agree with you, Bill Burkett. I don't think he doesn't seem very much TI tool. He seems pretty poor in the TI to be TI tool. He seems to change his position a lot, but see, that's not inconsistent with ESTPs who don't tend to apply their TI to positions across time so much as they use it in individual instances to make decisions about meowity meow.
Loverman?
Hmm? Oh, what a kitty beauty friend. Oh, beautiful kitty friend.
She's small too.
Oh, what an important kitty pageant winner. Do you see the importance, everybody?
If you get me a non-alcoholic beer the next time you go.
Yes, darling. Or you could reach right behind.
Oh yeah.
Right behind you. Here you go.
Yeah. It's so satisfying in life.
Oh, beauty.
Thank you.
Oh, that kitty has so much of my heart in her little paws.
I know. That's so good.
Putting biases on them, it's not exactly an uncommon thing to do. Well, that's true, but it could also be between that person's functionality and his own. So, it's hard to say. I would agree that Rogan's TI seems a little weak for third slot, but it could be kind of playing that up a bit too. I wouldn't. Eighth slot doesn't seem unreasonable. Hey, I didn't know that. If he's really working that angle, then maybe it's tool TI anyway. It's hard to say. It could be working that angle. I've worked those kind of angles before. I know what that's like. Whereas I didn't know that is more like I guess if there's a 2 ESTP or a 9 ESTP.
There is.
then
It really is.
they'd be like that, bro, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's just all you
it's me, bro. You think Rogan seems NI seeking? Well, that would make him obviously an SE Dom. I'm pretty confident he's not an ESFP. He does seem to be an extrovert as well. But it's possible that's a shtick for the camera, and that Bill Burkett's right, and that he's actually an ISFP who, when the cameras are turned off, he's super, yeah. Rogan is ENFJ? Possible. The fourth slot TI is not out of the question. But I don't really see him as an FE Dom.
I think it's important to also go beyond his YouTube show because he was the host of that show. It was like that challenge show.
Yeah, I've seen clips of him hosting it.
Yeah.
He's also, of course, involved with what's it called? MMA, but the the main one.
Announcing?
The main one that Dana White does. Why can't I think of the name all of a sudden? UFC. He does UFC stuff. Oh, I got a big poop brewing here. It's about to come out. Thanks, Morridge. It was basically by the bigwigs at ESPN and Disney. But in his announcement afterwards, he said, "Hey, we're not going to forget you, Tahachi." Then I'm going to make sure next time there's a fight in California, it's going to be there. You're going to get the fight for sure. We appreciate you standing with us. I appreciated that about Dana White. Like he made a point of not tossing off to the side of the road the Indian tribe that was down to host the fight during the quarantine, and I appreciated that. Dana White, yeah. Did I say the wrong name? I might have said the wrong name. Anyway, yes, there is a universe in which I could have chosen to not be with Rachel Cloud, but fortunately, the slabs didn't let me make those mistakes. The slabs helped me to make the right choice. Because while I have free will, the slabs don't want me to exercise it poorly. The fuck is going on? Sky Gear? We're talking about the poop that's coming. It's brewing in my butt. It's nearing the event horizon. If I had made different choices and she had made different choices, things would play out differently. We had our moments where we almost broke up and stuff, early on. We could have followed through on those. Wasn't inconceivable. Okay, I have to let the poop out. I'm back.
Yay, you're talking about Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, ENTJ almost certainly.
Yeah, I think so too. I always think that if I were in his class, like, he'd forget me right away. Yeah. And then, like, I would write something and he would be like, what are you talking about?
He's just so NI tool.
Thanks, Tom.
What's The Rock in your opinion, Eric?
That's what I think he is.
The thing about Jordan Peterson is he seems to do everything through a TE frame. That is to say, he can't escape the notion of a goal orientation, this sort of quest that you're on, dragons to slay, one way or the other. That's very TE orientation. And then,
Yeah, you are buffering right now. Winston's mom says you are as well.
well, I mean, I'm guessing that it's little to do with anything on my end.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do.
Well, but I'm saying cloud is that the frame of solvency of everything he does. Now, his tool function is indeed NI, which means because he's in psychology, it means it's very archetypal. That's going to necessarily be how the NI manifests in the field he's in. So, he's an E.
No, he's not an INTJ. He talks more than an INTJ.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
go ahead. Sorry,
I'm sorry.
my bad.
No, you're absolutely fine. I just think that emotive.
Yeah. Have you heard the snippet of Jordan Peterson talking about his sway over a large group of people and how he had to come to terms with the fact that he could sort of snap his finger and yeah, it would happen or whatever. I would never.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about unsolicited advice?
I mean, I think we get it all the time. It comes with the territory here with what I'm doing. Yeah.
No, I mean just in general, like.
I mean, in general, I think unsolicited advice is probably lacking in adequate awareness of the circumstances to justify the giving of advice at all, you know?
Well put.
Cloud. I mean, the thing is, it's like when I watch my dad's FI come into play, it's adversarial with FI in general. It offends his sensibilities that people have unnecessary feelings, so to speak. But I think it's fair to say that his time spent with me and Rachel and the neighborhood and stuff is all FI attending to him in some way or another. He had a conversation with me the other day about the neighbor ladies and the various widows around here, and how he's not going to go down that path and start like, you know, maybe he'd visit them or something, but he's not gonna attach to anyone in particular. Like Kathy across the street would like to get with him, but he's like, I'm not taking on all that shit, you know.
He knows. He's been through it.
Well, As I said the other day when we had this conversation, I'm a married man, Eric. Yeah, I know you're still a married man, Dad, but sort of. You can look ahead a little bit towards the future and see that Mom's not going to be in the picture forever.
She's a great mom.
Yeah.
I really admire the relationship you have with her.
Yeah, she was a great mom. Bill Burkett, let me address what you're saying here about FE and FI. The key thing about FE and FI, if you're going to distinguish between them at all to begin with, is note that they're different kinds of functions. FI is a deliberation function, and FE is an interface function. The FE interfaces with dynamic social systems by making approximation. The reason it's an interface function is because in order to know how to manage the perceptions of others, one has to engage with them somewhat. There has to be some back and forth. It can't just be action taken from afar. If you just send flowers, that's a form of interface, but you're not getting any information back from the other person. Something, he shouldn't believe it. It doesn't matter who says it. So FI is a deliberation function I understand at least well, but basically it's what you might call logic. It's managing things like, well, I want these things. I can't have them all. Which do I want most? Then worry about his feelings. That's all. That's FI as well. Like balancing considerations, basically, in terms of your attachment. Rachel right now is needing some more SE, I think. She mentioned a couple of occasions of doing some stuff outside, running around or playing catch or something like that, because we were cooped up for a long time. It's been a rainstorm to end all rainstorms. Very atypical for Los Angeles.
And it's not that bad about the rain. It's just that we're also quarantined, so it's like, even if I wanted just to like take a stroll somewhere for a little bit and then come back, nothing's open. Tell you to go read somebody else. If I'm using a point to justify something, I can win and explain the point myself. I understand it. If I don't understand it, there's no reason for me to believe it. And so that's the thing. If you have to say, well, I can't answer that, look to the book, then you don't understand it and there's no reason for you to believe it. And it's different than like showing a book and being like, I've been reading this book by so and so, and in it describes blah 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 blah. I would highly recommend that you get it. It's not. That's fine. Yeah, that's a lead in into why someone may find it enjoyable. I mean, sure. If you want to say that about any book, that's fine. Yeah, but if you're trying to say, here are my perspectives on cognitive function, and when asked to justify some inconsistency, you go, well, read the source material. That's bullshit. That's just being avoidant and pusillanimous, and you obviously don't actually know or have any reason to whatever. It's true. Well, I don't care if he's irritated or not. Am I saying that I can understand everything without question? I mean, about time to understand calculus, it would require a lot of time. But I'm not sure why. Where is that question coming from? Explain it to me, because I'm not sure what you're referring to. No, I'm saying every claim I'm making, Email Anthrax, I can answer any question about it. In other words, I'm never going to defer the responsibility to explain something onto somebody else. If I'm making the claim that you should believe and you ask me why, I will give you the answer.
are not going to avoid giving you the answer by pointing to something else. And the reason that I'm going to give you the answer. What are you talking about? It's the weeding part. There's too much activation of action functions. The picture becomes more than any weed at the time. So, it's a joke. Remember, he's doing his work in TI land. He's not doing his work in neutral land where any modality works equally well. He's saying, I have claims that I can justify and defend with language. So he's in TI realm. The fact that he's using TE in TI realm means he's wrong. Now, it doesn't mean that it's always wrong to use TE. It just means in this instance, this is not the right approach to arguing shit. All right, I'll put it in Ethernet cable. I'll deal with that for the next stream, I guess. Goodbye.